Today in the wood yard, we're talking gloves. What's the best kind of pair for doing firewood? Coming up right now. They were $29.95. Well, if you've done any amount of work outside, especially if you're cutting and handling firewood, you know gloves are important. Got to protect the money makers. Because if you get injured, obviously, you're not going to be able to work as well. So you got to worry about slivers, got to worry about, abrasions on your hands, cuts, getting your hands smashed, pinched, all that kind of stuff. Happens all the time. So one of the things you got to have is a good pair of gloves. And I have tried everything. I buy gloves constantly. Whenever I see a pair I haven't tried, I got to try those. I've tried out different styles, different thicknesses, different types of leather, different textures as far as how they're finished and what they do with them. And I've learned a few things. So today we're going to talk about it. I'm going to share some of my findings. So, getting some gloves right now. All gloves are not created equal. There are gloves that are warm. There are gloves that look nice. There are gloves that allow very good grip. There are gloves that fit tight so you can have very good dexterity as far as, not having thickness to worry about. There are gloves that are very thick and insulated that are nice to have because you get, number one, warm hands. Number two, you get more padding and you get a little bit of protection from, the pinching and the possible vibrations from a chainsaw. I know that's a big deal. If you run a chainsaw with bare hands, you're at the end of the day, if you run all day long, your fingers will get numb. Actually, the nerve endings start to be affected. So having a little bit of padding is always good. I actually would prefer to not wear gloves at all. I like being able to just grab stuff and be able to feel it. When I go to grab a piece of wood, I want to be able to pick it up very easily. And gloves hinder that sometimes, especially in the wintertime when you're wearing thick gloves, when you've got the ones that are a little more insulated, or I always buy a size a little bigger than what I really need. A large fits my hand fine, but a lot of times I buy extra larges just to get that extra room so that I can move a little bit easier. And when you have those on, a lot of times it's harder to, to pull the trigger on the chainsaw to grab a piece of wood because they kind of get in the way, but your hands are better protected. So first kind of pair I'm going to talk about, which I have used in the past on really cold days, I've worn fleece gloves before. And they work nice. They're nice and warm and very comfortable, but they wear out very fast. I do occasionally wear these when I put them inside a pair of choppers or leather mitts, because that way on a really cold day, you have the extra insulation, but then I have the leather mitt over the top of it. So I've done that. That's the first kind. Next pair. Another kind of glove that I have worn and I'd really like, but they just don't last very long, are these coated latex or rubbery type gloves. They're kind of a knit. They breathe really well. These are excellent because you have really good grip because it kind of actually almost sticks to the material you're grabbing onto. But they just don't last very long. Plus, because they're knit, you get slivers and dirt in there pretty easily. But these are not bad. I like them, but they just don't last very long. Next kind. Here's another pair of coated gloves. These are called high flexes. My brother gave me these. Where he works in a paper mill, they wear these all the time because they're disposable basically. They wear them for a day and chuck them. And that's about all they're good for, is about a day, if that. And on firewood, they're too thin. Slivers and things go right through these. They wear out very fast. But if you're just doing a light duty job, these are kind of nice. On real warm days, I kind of like these for running a chainsaw. You don't get any of the padding, to stop with vibration and stuff like that, but you can grip really well. They breathe pretty good because you got the back that's, the knit, it's just cloth, so your hands don't get too sweaty and you still have some protection. So these aren't too shabby. I've tried these rubber coated gloves or latex coated gloves. Not too bad. Your hands sweating them quite a bit, but they do wear out fairly fast. They rip, as you can see. But these weren't too shabby and they're not expensive. I think I got them for like, $4 or $5 for a pair. Not too bad. Another style are these Velcro wrist attachment gloves that have leather on the front and then they're, a fabric on the back. I've tried lots of these. They're very comfortable, very nice for light duty work. Excellent if you're only going to do a small amount of work. But the tips wear out. It's a thinner leather because they're made, for a better grip. but the fingertips wear out, as you can see, real fast on these. I do like them, especially in the summertime when it's hot. I like these kind of gloves, but they just don't last very long. Another kind I've tried are these leather palmed gloves, and then they're fabric on the back. These are really cheap. You can get like 3 pair of these for less than 10 bucks, but they don't last very long either. They rip apart pretty easily. Again, light duty. If you're just gonna do a light job, you know, they'd be okay, but not what I'm looking for. Plain old Cowhide leather work gloves. I've got dozens of pairs of these. These are just the good ones, believe it or not, and they're pretty wore out. The fingertips do wear out on these fairly fast. People have asked me, you know, how long does a pair of gloves last? A pair of this, brand new to the time they're dead for me, because I work with wood all day long sometimes during the year, maybe a week, maybe. So yeah, they go pretty fast. Here's an example. This pair of gloves, well, it's not a pair, it's two, it might be a pair. Looks like 2 different. Anyway, you can see they were kind of new about a week from here. So that's how fast they wear out. The fingertips wear out real fast on these. And yeah, especially if they're wet, they'll wear out even faster. And there's a lot of days I'm out here, rain and snow, and there you go. So fingertips wear out pretty fast, but they're cheap, and you can usually get these for, you know, less than 10 bucks a pair. Sometimes you get 2 pairs for 15 bucks, something like that. But leather gloves, just plain old leather gloves, work good. Cowhide, that's what that is. I mentioned before about choppers, leather mitts. This is what I wear when here in Wisconsin in the wintertime, February, March. Well, not March so much, February, January, February. This is pretty much what you got to wear some days. And I put hand warmers down inside of these because your hands get so cold that you can't even grab anything. Days when it's, you know, 15, 20, 25 below zero with a wind chill. And if it's, you know, a day that you plan on working outside, weather will not stop me. I just keep going. This is what I wear, but they don't last very long. They tend to wear out fairly fast, and they're not cheap either. But they're very comfortable, very warm. I like them. The bad thing is you don't have a very good grip, obviously. You go to grab something, it's, you know, it's like having a pillow on your hands. You don't have the finger dexterity at all, but very warm. I've also, on some days, just worn plain old cotton or canvas style gloves, and they work okay for a little while to protect your hands, but slivers will go through them. It's better than nothing. They are very cheap. You can get a dozen of them for, I don't know, like $15 to $20 for a dozen pairs, and they're real cheap. And they will work, but not really what I want to wear for doing hard manual labor, firewood work all day. Similar to the cotton or canvas style white gloves I just showed you, this is just a pair of the felt kind of, I don't know how to describe them. They're a soft, fuzzy material. They're very comfortable. They're nice for liners, but for working in, they blow out pretty fast. Fingers blow apart on them. It's just a fabric, so the wood is constantly ripping on them. They work, but again, not the thing I would choose for an outer layer. Maybe inside of a leather mitt style chopper would be okay. I have been so desperate certain days when I only have a couple pairs of gloves with me that I get out duct tape, and I'll duct tape finger holes from, you know, when they wear through. I put duct tape on. I've done that. Also, I've put shoe glue on my fingertips. I've done that even on new gloves. It does help them last longer. Yeah, it's just shoe glue. If you ever heard of that, it's a I don't know what it is. It's a rubbery type material. You squirt on, rub it around on there. The bad thing is it has a hard time adhering to smooth leather. You almost have to rough it up first. But it does make them last longer on the fingertips. I always wear this finger out first. It's the one, especially on my right hand, it's the one that is your middle finger. It's the one where you get the most power as far as grabbing. And when I'm working with wood, you go to grab it and throw it. That's the one that wears through first for me. This finger, my thumb, and then the index finger. Those are the three. And then this one, the pinky, never wears out because that's kind of useless. Here's more duct tape on gloves. I've taped them quite often. And when they start to blow out like this, you're kind of out of luck. But I'll keep using them until my hands start to hurt, which happens a lot. As far as brands, I've tried just about every brand. These gloves right here are Carhartts. I don't know if you can see that. Carhartt. They're good gloves. It's a split grain leather or suede, and they were fairly expensive. These are insulated. I think these Carhartt gloves were, I want to say like $24, $25 for the pair. A little bit pricey, but they work pretty good. They're still good. They haven't worn through yet. But this pair, almost the exact same design in the way they're made. This pair is just a no-name brand I bought at a box store around here, and I think I paid like $6 for this pair. Basically the same glove. So you don't have to buy the brand name, and that's something that I think a lot of people go too far on a lot of times is brand name. But there is two kinds that I primarily use, and we're getting to those real soon. One of the things you got to consider when you're buying gloves is you got to kind of think about what you're using them for. In Firewood, I have found that, I mean, this is called a gauntlet style is what this is, gauntlet style. They're nice. They slide on really easy. You can just grab them, slide your hand into them. Works great. Your sleeve sometimes it fits inside. Sometimes you can go around it. They're okay. They're nice. I like them. And then this is I think this is called the safety cuff. It's where it's tight to your wrist. When you're working with wood, no question about it, this is better. Because you got that cuff open and you're cutting with a saw, or you're picking up wood, or you're throwing wood, constantly having sawdust go down inside the glove, constantly. So the cuff is not a great thing. I mean, they're okay. You got to shake them out every once in a while. But the closed, the safety cuff, tight on the wrist cuff, way better. That's what I like anyway. Another kind of leather glove. This is called a driver glove. It's just kind of your simple open cuff type glove. This kind right here, it's called safety gear, but there's nothing really safe about it. It's just regular cowhide. Yeah, so it does protect your hands, but these don't last very long. Very comfortable, very supple, protective. I like those. But this particular brand right here, how do you say it? Kamorai, Iridians. It's got a cut level of A4, which is, I guess, better. What it has on the inside is they are lined. And they do last quite a while. This glove looks like it's pretty wore out, and I use this a lot. I got these from a friend of mine that is a safety supervisor for a construction company around here. He gave these, he said, try these out. He gave me 2 pair. Loved them. So now I'm going to have to look for these and try to find some of these. So overall, these are pretty good. I just don't know how much they cost because he gave them to me for free. But I'm going to try to find some of these. I have tried welding gloves for Firewood. You know, the gloves that welders use. They have more of the gauntlet style. These work pretty good, but they're I wouldn't say insulated. They're more padded in the fingertips. They last a pretty good amount of time, but still the fingertips do wear out because this is a split grain leather or suede. But yeah, I've tried welding gloves too. This style of glove, I have a lot of them. Why do I have so many? Because they work pretty good and they're cheap. Here's what an individual pair looks like. They come in all different colors. Basically what it is it's a split grain leather or suede. It's open cuff, which I don't really like. I'd rather have the safety cuff, the one that's tight to your wrist. But these are cheap. I will show you how cheap. This is, well, it was a 3-pack. I took a pair out of here, took 2 gloves out of here. But it's a rugged wear 3-pack. I got these at a local box store. It's called Menards. I don't know, which you might not have anything like that. But these were $6.99 for 3 pairs. So pretty darn cheap. They're not real warm gloves. They're not insulated or anything. But as far as lasting, they last as long as the regular cow skin gloves. They do breathe a little bit because you got the cotton on the back. The open cuff I don't really like. But just kind of all around cheap gloves that work pretty good. These aren't too shabby. Now we're getting to the good ones. So these pairs are both Wells Lamont. This pair has the safety cuff, the closed wrist. This one is the open cuff, the gauntlet style. Both insulated, both work great. This one gets full of sawdust, this one doesn't. They do wear out, as you can see. I've got tape on there, and some of these I also put on, here I'll show you. Oh, there it is. I also put on the shoe glue onto the tips of the fingers to make them last a little longer. But yeah, I like these. Not too bad priced. It's like $12, $13 for a pair. I get them at, again, a local box store around here. Carries the Wells Lamont brand. I think you can order them online too. The store I get them is called Fleet Farm. There's also a Farm and Fleet. So yeah, it's kind of more of a store that it's a man's store. It has everything I want. Like, if the world ends, I want to be in that store because they have everything from guns to equipment to tools to food to clothes. Everything a man could want. So anyway, these are probably towards the top. I'll show you a brand new pair I got here. This is a brand new pair that I just bought. That's what they look like, brand new. Wells Lamont. There you go. Very good. So these are excellent gloves for the price. Like I said, they're like $13 a pair, $12.99 I think I usually pay for these. If I see them where they're on sale for like $9.99, I buy as many as I can grab because I do go through them. And now we're going to talk about the best pair that I found. Here we go. Here they are. These are Kenko brand. These are Pigskin. I've had these gloves for a very long time. As you can see, they're actually shiny. Kind of like, think about like what a football looks like, the old Pigskin footballs. They actually get shiny and slippery, the really old ones. I've blown it out. I've actually sewn, I think one of these here, I actually went and I sewed somewhere on here, I did. I actually re-sewed the fingertip on this one right here. I think I re-sewed this once too. But as far as the leather, this Pigskin lasted the longest of any glove that I've ever tried. Now I looked online and apparently goat skin is supposed to be even better. So I'm gonna have to try to find some goat skin gloves. But anyway, these are Pigskin and they worked great. I really like them and I couldn't find them. The store I bought them at quit carrying them. They didn't have them. So I was delivering wood to a customer of mine. He had a brand new pair of these and I just about ripped them off of his hands and stole them from him. I said, "Where'd you get those?" Well, he told me it was a local hardware store. So I went there today and look what I got. I got a brand new pair of the Kenkos, and I bought these at the store he told me to go to. They did not have any of the safety ones, the closed cuff. They just had the open cuff, the gauntlet style. These were $15.99, so about 16 bucks for a pair, and they're Pigskin. So I anticipate these are going to be excellent. And then I had to go to another hardware store to pick up something for my Dremel, and I was looking, and ta-da! I found the closed cuff, Kenko brand Pigskin. They had all kinds of them. But they were $29.95. Twice as much as the other exact same glove. Twice as much as these. It's the same glove basically. But I didn't care. I had to have them. So, for my money, this is what I want. So we're going to put these to the test real soon when the cold weather comes, because they're excellent gloves and I think they work great. So if you got any comments, let me know. Other than that, that's all I know about gloves. I've got a lot of them. So leave some comments. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you've tried, what wears out fast. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to know. So hit the like, subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know when I've got a new video, which is every day. And I will see you tomorrow in the wood yard. Now get outside, get in the woods, and get cutting.